Hey peeps. Well, sitting here trying to do what I can to round out the fun with our little October onslaught, our little our little Halloween celebration. And one thing I decided I really wanted to talk about was probably one thing you notice if you listen to me or you listen to Heather, you'll hear either one of us going off on just our disinclination to talk about a lot of the more current movies, particularly a lot of mainstream stuff. And, we're just kind of at the end of the day, we're really not mainstream people. Uh, and as Heather will say, as she said multiple times, here's a movie, it's, costs as much money as it takes to feed a small nation. And, these movies make more money than God. They need, they don't need my love, and she's not wrong. And so, I kind of understand. I definitely understand where she's coming from. At the same time, and maybe I'm a little more lenient, a little more susceptible than she is to some of the more mainstream stuff and some of the more current day stuff. Or at least I will occasionally break for it. Maybe, but I don't know. That cracks open. I don't know. Cracks open a whole new realm of discussion, which I believe I talked about earlier in one of my previous recordings. I talked about the idea of quote unquote elevated horror, and just how that's a phrase. When I hear it, it kind of gives me the horrors. I mean, I remember back maybe somewhere in the ballpark of 15, 20 years ago, I think I was making some comments about how I wish horror felt like it could reach a little higher and do a little more than just, give you a jump scare or whatever. And, yeah, but, this elevated horror shit is just, it gets so damn opaque and so damn dull after a while. I can't stand it. And it's just like, okay, so we're going to act like, I guess, like crafting a good scary movie somehow is less valid or less honorable than like doing something like Out of Africa, or what's the current Oscar bait shit? I don't know. Insert it here, and yeah, just a lot of it just seems so dry to me, and it seems so dull to me, and we beef with contemporary stuff, particularly contemporary horror stuff, a lot. And, a lot of it is just like, it all seems so bland. And it's also dull to look at. I mean, just when I look, and, I've heard people say it's good, say a lot of Robert Eggers stuff, particularly I heard The Lighthouse is real good. That Nosferatu thing, I'm still not wanting to wipe my ass on, as far as remaking the original, which was brilliant in its own right. I mean, Werner Herzog already cashed in the chips on that one, and just you're not going to beat that for my money. But with a lot of that, it's like Robert Eggers. It's like, Jesus Christ. Okay, is this guy's main claim to fame technically the fact that he color grades everything to a really dull kind of palette? I mean, and that's not a criticism that's simply leveled at him. I mean, that's most horror movies I've seen. Why does everything look so drab now? Why does everything look so dull now? I mean, yeah, I've pretty much hit you over the head with all this already, because I've said to you earlier, what's greater than The Shining? Well, Suspiria is greater than The Shining. I'm talking, yeah, the original Suspiria by Dario Argento, not that new thing, which, again, I got no real interest in seeing it. But, um, okay, I mean, everything looks dull and ugly and stupid and rust colored, and, it just, there's no color palette. Suspiria, yeah, greater than everything. Uh, that's my opinion. And it's like when I look at that, when I look at all the old Argento flicks, all the Mario Bava stuff and whatnot, just with the color and the gels and all that, it's like for my money, nothing can beat that. Nothing looks that good. And so right away, if you're working, with these dull, drab palettes and everything, you got a big strike against you. Yeah, you got a big strike against you because you don't look like a 70s or 80s giallo. But, it is what it is. That's how I feel about this stuff. But I wanted to just kind of give credit where credit's due. I mean, and talk a little bit about some recent movies that really did grab me and that I really did like. I mean, there have been a couple, especially working in tandem with Deep Images. Um, I've been introduced to movies that are really good. Um, some stuff I particularly want to talk about. Okay, like a great one I think is that came out this past year has been Sinners. Holy hell! Just totally new take on the vampire movie. Lens through the black experience, which is absolutely fantastic. Um, you know, Ryan Coogler, who, probably did one of the few Marvel movies, and yeah, I rip on superhero movies a lot. There are some that I like. There are a few that I like, but just one of the few of those Marvel Studios movies that legitimately qualifies as a great movie, being the Black Panther movie, and you know, not consequently Michael B. Jordan in a dual role, absolutely fantastic. It just brilliant ensemble cast. Again, Delroy Lindo, for Christ's sake, he's great and everything. You get Buddy Guy coming in at the end playing some blues. You get a lot of cool stuff. And just the music is extraordinary. It's just some whirling dervish shit. It just blew me the hell away. And I thought that was an absolutely fantastic movie. And man, it really puts you through some motions, and it gives you all the feels in that thing. I mean, I was on the floor. I was so astonished by that movie. Another one, Weapons. Yeah, which, could be considered being one of those ones that's too dark and whatever. I thought that thing was great. I mean, the big thing I thought when I looked at that, okay, it takes a different angle. It doesn't look like anything else. But at the same time, it's got the kind of drab color palette. It seems to a lot of the time. A lot of the time it doesn't. But just, I was, it's going to be one of those damn elevator horror movies. No, it's just a good horror movie. It's a good horror movie that tackles stuff that's been done kind of before, but never quite like that. And just that whole weird kind of running image of the kids and then later some adults running around, doing, I guess, what they call the Naruto run, and with their arms out like little airplanes or whatever. And it was just, that's such a strange looking configuration. But yeah, Zach Kreger, and obviously some issues of grief and loss kind of playing into the narrative there, and which I guess kind of in part comes to him personally, uh, you know, through the loss of his friend, from Whitest Kids You Know. Um, a lot of other stuff, just Amy Madigan, for Christ's sake. I mean, there are performances where you look at it and it's just kind of like, what the, that is astonishing. You were fantastic in that role. Thank you for doing that. Congratulations on that great performance. With Amy Madigan, it was just almost like, are you okay? Are you gonna be okay? Yeah. But anyway, yeah, just with all my carping and exceptions and everything like that, two movies I saw this past year that kind of blew me away and I thought were real good and really worth seeing. So, yeah, just don't say I never did nothing for you or whatever. That's all I got.